You know, you've often heard the expression, if we don't have our health, we've got nothing. Um, no matter what your physical condition or stresses that you're going through right now, I'm going to give you 5 simple steps to start feeling better within a couple of weeks. And I know because I've gone through it myself. You might think, well, what does that fat old lady have to tell me about health? Well, I've been through it, and I've lost 62 pounds so far, still working at it. I've reversed a couple of health conditions. I had a nodule on my parathyroid gland, which is one of the 4 glands behind the thyroid, and there's an accompanying condition called hypercalcemia, where you have too much calcium in your blood, and I've taken natural steps to reverse that. Maybe we'll have a video on that another time. I'm managing my leg lymphedema, which means basically my lymph nodes are not draining the lymphatic fluid, so my legs swell and they're painful. But I manage that through self-massage and some exercises on my rebounder. So that's working not too badly. And I try and keep the inflammation down in my body, which helps. And I'm also managing cancer. I was diagnosed in June of 2018 with bladder cancer, and I don't have any of the risk factors, but it keeps coming back. So I'm going for my 4th surgery in August, and then we'll start over again. But so far I've just been watching my diet and trying to be as healthy as I can. I'm still working on exercise. Yeah. So I'm going to give you these steps, and I really believe they'll work. They say one of the root causes of disease is inflammation in the body. So I'm going to make some suggestions that might help you with that. Okay, number 1. I'm going to look up my notes if you don't mind. Try and add some more veggies. I don't know what your diet is like. But just a few simple changes like that. If you add vegetables, you're going to have less craving for sweets eventually. And also, number 2, add more protein too. Try and have a bit of protein with every meal. Like you can have animal protein, plant protein, beans, tofu, lentils, eggs, fish, meat. A little bit at every meal helps to stabilize your blood sugar levels, because every time we eat, we get an insulin spike. But if you eat the protein, especially if you're combining it with some carbs, it will reduce that spike. So that's very helpful. So vegetables, more protein. Protein's very satiating. So the goal is to go between meals without snacking, okay? I mean, if you're really stuck, you could have something, but your body will get used to that. Once you're fuller at meals, you'll find it easier to go in between, and that way your stomach can empty, your digestion can be complete before you overload your system with more food, and it's hard on your kidneys as well. Another one, so we covered no snacking, and try not to eat after 6 at night, because it's a lot easier to sleep that way when you're not overly full. Now sleep, 7 to 9 hours sleep, they say. Sometimes I get by on 6, but what's really helped me to avoid that 3 a.m. wake up time is I started taking magnesium bisglycinate. Okay, there's several kinds of magnesium, but I use magnesium glycinate or magnesium bisglycinate. And you can look up dosages and whatever, but I use that paired with vitamin D3. So the vitamin D3 helps the magnesium to absorb better into your body, and I feel that knocks me right out. With no, after effects in the morning. I wake up pretty refreshed. Now, of course, there are times, if you've got a lot on your mind, you're overthinking, there'll be times when you're awake, but in general, I've seen a big improvement, so that's really helped me. So I think we've covered our 5. But yeah, it's so much easier to handle things that we might be going through, this reset that we want to do in our lives whether it's improving our health or recovery after loss and grief. It really helps to not have to be dealing with the sluggishness and the fatigue that can come from a poor diet. So just leave your comments. I'd love to hear what you're going through. You know, I'm a Christian and I pray, and that's another thing I just wanted to mention. You know, we need to keep our stress levels down. When you're stressed, your body produces cortisol, and you can reduce that through, I do my Bible reading and prayer every morning. You can just sit quietly and listen to some soft music that you enjoy. You can just have a quiet time, just read, make a cup of tea, put your feet up. I try not to watch so much news anymore, even though I will never mention politics on this channel. I'm very interested in current events, but you know, sometimes it's a bit too much, right? So it's better for me now. Of course, I'm on YouTube. You know, I've got a lot more things to focus on. Yeah, so let me know your story, what you're going through, and I'd love to hear the results you've had after this 2-week reset with your diet. And it's just a little boost to get you started, and hopefully continue. You might not have weight to lose, that's not the point, but the point is to lower the inflammation in your body. Like if you're drinking pop and alcohol, those are actually negatives. I know they say wine contains resveratrol, but there's other parts of the wine that are not so good for you, apparently. You can get resveratrol in capsules, and you can also get it from eating red grapes. Sugar in sodas. Canada, we call it pop. You know, even your Coke Zero. I forget what it was now, but there's negatives even about drinking carbonated drinks. They take the fun out of everything, right? But yeah, watch that. Yeah, I drink. You can. I would say, you know, the first week, if it's new to you, if this is a lot of change in your diet and your habits, go and have milk if you want in your coffee or tea. But I trained myself to drink my coffee black. Now I don't drink the coffee anymore because of the bladder cancer, and apparently it's a little bit harsh on the bladder lining. But I drink regular tea, but mostly I drink my herbal teas. So yeah, do what you can, and if you really can stick with it for 2 weeks, just push through. Like sometimes we need to push ourselves a little bit, and you break through the first couple of days, and I think you're going to see a difference. So I'd love to hear about that, and certainly for weight loss it's going to help too, and it should be helping for your sleep as well. Okay, all right, thanks. See you in the next video. Bye bye.